Now, as I promised, we are going to speak about the symbolism of Khokhloma painting. In old Russia, Khokhloma tableware wasn't just for serving food, but also it was a symbol of protection of a house and a family. Slavic ornaments are full of symbolism, and we can see it everywhere in old Russia. On clothes, tablecloths and towels, furniture, tableware, accessories. The symbolism was important. For example, according to the ornaments of the clothes, it was possible to determine if a woman is marriageable or already married, without children, or already has, for example, 3 children. So, on the bottom of the plates, dishes, bowls, Khokhloma masters painted composition pryanik, and symbols of this composition reflected the understanding of the ancient Slavs of the structure of the universe. The full universe was in this circle. First of all, let's speak about the symbolism of color according to ancient Slavic people. Red color is a beauty, health, love. In Russian language, a word beautiful, красивый, comes from red, красный. In old Russia, wedding clothes, for example, had red color. Black color is a color of the absolute. It is associated with the eternity, infinity, depth, the very embodiment of the universe, but also is a color of sadness, sorrow, poor harvest, because life is impossible without such moments. Now let's have a look at our pryanik. In the center we can see a square. A square is a field. Any straight line represents a ground. The square is not empty, it means the field is sown. The element blade of grass is sprout, seedling. The element drop is a hole where we put a seed, and dots are seeds. So we can see in the center a seed, then holes to put a seed, and blades its sprouts, seedlings. Our field is sown, it means we are waiting for a good harvest. Black semicircles symbolize the sun at sunrise. This is the beginning of a new day, any beginnings in general. The red swirls of our pryanik are roots. Big swirls, big roots mean stability, healthy support of the family in a figurative way. And in a direct meaning, these are strong roots of plants. It means a good crop will arrive. In order for the seed to sprout, we need all elements: water, wind, earth, and sun. Earth and sun we already have seen in the center of our pryanik. Now look at the small black curls. They are the wind. Wind flows. Without wind, clouds can't move and bring water, bring rain. And where are the clouds in our composition? What do you think? The red boarding. These small red waves are clouds filled with water. So we have 4 elements, but something is missing, isn't it? I didn't tell you anything about the Khokhloma element runners. Runners is a grove. The grove was a holy place for the ancient Slavs. They didn't cut down trees and didn't gather mushrooms and berries there. People went to the grove to perform rituals and recharge their energy, So we can say it is a symbol of spiritual life and the fifth element. One more moment I would like to mark. For the balance of the universe, the harmony of the male and female energy, like yin and yang, is necessary. That's why in the pranic composition you could find the swirls painted clockwise and anti-clockwise. All the elements arranged clockwise have the masculine principle, spiritual leadership, and counterclockwise elements are feminine signs, the material, sensual side of a life. For example, people believe that amulets with feminine symbols help to soften the character of a brutal man. Well, now you know what kind of wishes you can send to your friends and family members through the Khokhloma ornaments.